Yes, sir. All right, man. I found this video, yo. It's a quite, it's quite funny. I'm not gonna lie, yo, because how many times, fellas, it might be the late night scene after the bar at a club or some type of function or whatnot with some mutual friends and things like that. Then you have a conversation with a girl. She's smiling. She's entertaining the conversation. You're entertaining it. You're dishing and taking it, whatever, talking shit, whatever it may be. Then out of nowhere, she has a quote unquote big Shirley come out of nowhere, snatch her, and she tells you, "We're good." What the hell do you mean we're good when I was sitting here talking to your friend? So many girls are so miserable and they go out in packs and whatnot, but they always have that one sour grape that wants to ruin the situation, that wants to be that Buzz Killington because no guy wanted to strike a conversation with them. They're sitting there with that resting bitch face. They're looking angry because nobody wanted their number. Well, maybe you should switch up your attitude and you might get some different results, right? Ladies, you have a Big Shirley in your group. You may or may not know it. A lot of these girls, they know they have their Big Shirley come through and they ruin the situation just because they might have a man, just because they might be bored for the night, just because they're looking for guys to just talk to them just so they could dub. You know, guys, do you know that there's ladies that actually go out, they get did up just so they could reject guys? Does that make any sense? But yo, we about to play this video, man. I'm not about to talk too much, man. I'm gonna just jump in, cut them off whenever I feel like it, and give my 2 cents, man. Let's dive in.
You click the request. I mean, can you live in peace with a man? Can you submit to a man? Can you play the background?
When you say play the background, what do you mean play the background?
Play your natural role.
My natural role in being a wife?
Yes, the background.
I don't think a natural role as a wife is in the background.
Show me where in the world a natural wife is in front.
See, the thing is with this situation with this guy and with the girls that love to call in here and give their 2 cents, even though it doesn't make any sense half of the time or more than half, is nobody on either end is married or looking to get married. So why are we even having conversations about the wife's role, the husband's role, and things like that? Yes, this guy, it's alleged that he got married twice, but he has two divorces also, right? So how can he talk about a successful relationship, a successful marriage when he's not in one? And she's most definitely not in one because if she had a husband, she wouldn't be here on the IG live. Well, that's my opinion because a lot of these wives, a lot of these girlfriends in this modern era are trifling to say the least. So they do a lot just because they feel like they can. But a lot of these hood girls, a lot of these ratchet chicks love calling in because they're looking for some clout. They're looking for some fame, 15 seconds of fame and whatnot. So they're going to carry on the conversation even when they know they're wrong.
She's not in front, but she's beside.
No, she's not.
Why she's not, Kevin?
Are you out of your French toast mind?
Don't start. Don't do that now, Kevin. That I'm not. I'm just giving you my opinion.
Okay. Well, when a burglar comes, are you standing side? When somebody's coming to break in the house, are you side by side beside your husband, or are you standing behind him because he's gonna have to take the bullet?
To be honest, I'm standing beside my husband because
Then you out of place.
Yo, she's dead ass though. She's dead serious when she says she's gonna stand beside, man. A lot of these hood chicks, man, they want to be that quote unquote ride or die girl, that Bonnie and Clyde and shit like that when they supposed to be protecting the kids and things like that. Let your man go ahead and figure some things out down there. But it is what it is.
why am I out of place?
Oh my
Tell me how.
God.
Am I too
Oh,
masculine for it?
oh my God. Hell yeah. Your place. Oh my God. Hold on. Why are you out of place? I'm telling you why you're out of place.
Tell me
Your place is behind your husband, guarding the children.
Okay.
Oh, I'm really on here.
Okay.
So when your mother, how about your grandmother?
Okay.
Hold on, Hannah. Your grandmother, was she married?
That's another thing, Mr. Kevin.
Hold on, Hannah. Let me come right back to you. I'm gonna come back to you, Hannah. Was your grandmother married?
Yes, my grandmother was, but that's the thing with I'm trying to explain to you. We in two different generations right now. The generation that you're trying to explain to us, my generation is not living like that no more.
And that's the problem. Your generation isn't living like that anymore. Basically, your generation does not want to be traditional. Your generation is not looking to be married. Your generation does not know what they want. They're so indecisive. They want to do this, they want to do that. They want to chase bags, they want to chase parties, they want to chase fame, they want to chase clout, notoriety, all these things that don't matter. It's all vain. It's all vanity. All that shit is nothing worth of substance. Nothing of substance. All those things, materialistic things. You can't take it to the grave with you. All these girls in this era, this generation, are worried about the wrong things. A good amount, not all. When it comes down to trying to build, when it comes down to trying to make a commitment, a lot of these girls are scared of commitment. They want to bring up how their grandma or things like that got cheated on when it doesn't have a damn thing to do with them. And now they want to bring that trauma, that quote unquote trauma, because they're holding on to it because it has nothing to do with them. You want to talk about this, that, and the third, all the negative things, but what about the positives? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the good things from the older generation? All we always want to talk about is the negative things. If we want to talk about the negative things in every single situation, then you're going to be bringing negativity in every single relationship that you walk into. Does that make any sense? Fellas don't want to be talking to any girls that's bringing this childhood trauma willingly. Come on, bro. We're not trying to walk into that. Fellas already got enough shit going on that they don't want to be dealing with women with baggage and all these things and feel like we got to fix that situation from when you were 8 years old. Like, what the hell? You don't think we have our own trauma or our own bullshit that we're trying to get over? It's just, it's just when you watch this show, like, I can't watch this show too many times because I feel like a good amount of these women are just trolls. But then when you see this shit on a repeated basis, you just understand that they're not. They're gonna just call the show. They're gonna give their opinion, even though it doesn't make any sense. Just because they're on this guy's IG live or the YouTube channel or whatever and whatnot, they're gonna just say their points, knowing that it doesn't make any sense, knowing that it's not really valid because it's gonna get broken down, and then they're still not gonna want to agree.
And that's why you're dying by yourself.
But who says there isn't a man that's willing to take me for him to me for me for
1 in 4 of you will marry.
Bro couldn't even spit out the sentence that she was trying to say because she knows she was saying bullshit or about to ask a bullshit question. Who's to say like a man isn't gonna take me, fumbling at the words and whatnot? If a man wanted to take you as you are, you would be with a man right now. You wouldn't be calling this guy in his 50s to have a conversation in the middle of the night. Does that make any sense, man? Come on, man.
I mean, look, ma'am, the stats don't work for your argument. Prior to 1965, black people were married at a rate of 80%. You go out to any cemetery and you'll see a black man buried next to a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
But you go after 1990 and you'll start seeing black women buried around her children.
Why is that?
Because y'all are unruly, unsubmissive, and out of line.
Well, let me ask you, how many women?
Go to a restaurant on Friday or Saturday night, and you'll see a mama. You may see her with her mother and a bunch of kids. There will be no husbands. In Atlanta, I've taken pictures of restaurants full of women and children and no men.
Well, how many women at that point in time had degrees and education? Everybody.
What the frick does your degree mean?
Yo, why do these women always be talking about the degree as if every degree is valid? A lot of these women be studying things that don't even make any sense. You know what I'm saying? You're not taking that into the real world. For example, African studies, woman studies, or things like that to become a feminist, to become a liberal and things like that. Back in the day, why a lot of people always and religiously bring up these examples is because the main goal from the older generation was family, was loyalty, was trying to build something, trying to build a legacy. Nobody cares about a degree. Yes, a degree is great in your own terms and whatnot. You worked for that. But the question is this: why don't a lot of these modern women work for a relationship as hard as they worked for a degree? as hard as you work for your boss. We want to talk about submit. A lot of these guys on these channels love throwing that word submit around when in all actuality, all it means is to comply. You feel what I'm saying? So, why can't you work as hard as you was working for this quote unquote degree and whatnot? Whatever field the degree may be in. Why aren't you working as hard for your degree? Why aren't you working as hard to find a man as you were working for that degree? Asking for a friend.
It. Why doesn't it mean anything?
What is your degree in?
But why doesn't it mean anything?
What's the degree in?
That's not the question.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No, I'll tell you. No, because almost 90% of the degrees women get are in humanities.
That's not the question, though, Mr.
Yes, it is.
That's not it.
You don't seem to understand. A fucking communications degree is pointless.
How is it pointless? And who says my education and my degree is incomplete?
Okay, if you want to play the game with me, I'll play it with you. You want to bring up degrees, you're going to have to be specific. What percentage of women get degrees that are in science, engineering, technology, or math? Infrastructure.
I don't think that matters.
That's your problem. You don't understand what's important.
Yeah, man, that's a problem right there. When you're having conversations with these girls, you might be going back and forth with a girl and whatnot, and then she always talks about my truth, my opinion, and things like that. But they don't really do the research. They don't really do the due diligence to find out where you're coming from because they only want you to hear their side. And that's why we're always at a disconnect when we're trying to build with each other. That's why a lot of guys find this guy's show entertaining because they want to laugh at these women and whatnot. But I gotta ask you guys, what's the end game? You feel what I'm saying? Is the end game for guys to continuously laugh at these girls just because their opinion is basically obsolete and whatnot? Even when we're trying to help them, a lot of them are gonna be a lot of them are gonna be a lost cause. That's a given. That's a fact and whatnot. But a good amount of them are just lost in the sauce. So it's gonna have to take some guys to take them out of the mud and whatnot. A lot of guys are trying to find a girl already made. You guys love to talk about how these women want to find a guy and as the finished product and things like that. You guys love talking about how you'll date a girl from Wendy's and whatnot. Then why aren't you? You know what I'm saying? Yo, fellas, man, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta be able to dish and take, and we always gotta be able to be real with each other and be real with ourselves. If the girl that you're dealing with is combative, she always wants to argue, she's snarky and things like that, then that's on you. If you're sticking in that situation, you get what you deserve, right?
What's important then, Mr. Samuels?
Who is that?
What's important, Mr. Samuels?
That y'all are completely out of line. That you don't even understand how the world works. You're running on override. Men build the world that you live in.
Oh, okay.
Who built that house or apartment you live in? Was it a crew of women? Who designed the metal work? Who put in the floor, the plumbing, the electrical system, the heating? Who put that in? The car you drive, was that built by a crew of women?
So women are not capable of doing none of those things. No.
You're not good.
If women were capable of doing those things, they would be doing those things. It just gets tiring when you hear these hypothetical conversations and all these nonsense. It's the same talking points. It's the same conversations. It gets tiring. It gets old. I don't get how guys are still dying at these conversations and whatnot. These girls, y'all make yourselves look like a fool willingly just because y'all want to chase some clout, have your 15 seconds of fame. Why can't y'all have these conversations behind closed doors? But oh yeah, I get it. Your girls are single, so are you. So you want to your girls are single, so are you. You guys been drinking wine and now you want to try to call this guy's IG live, his YouTube channel to have a conversation that you already know that you're wrong in, but you want to keep it going because you're bored for the night. This is why a lot of you girls, man, if you do not have a father, a male figure, or whatever in your life, man, you need to find an elder. You don't need to go to therapy. You don't need to talk to some Caucasian about your life because they will never understand your life. You need to find somebody that you admire, somebody that you respect, and have a good conversation with. Not a guy over social media that does not know you from a can of paint. You know what I'm saying? I don't get how this makes any sense, my man.
And when given a choice, excuse me, because when given a choice, because women are free today, right? And you're educated, right? Then why don't we see 51% of the construction workers as women? Why don't we see 51% of the engineers as women? Why don't we see 51% of the plumbers, electricians, military, train operators, heavy, dangerous work as women? Because when given an opportunity, women segregate themselves into more comfortable positions. Men do the dangerous work to build society.
Okay.
That's your place.
That's my place. I should follow my husband. I should follow the man. That's his place. We're not equal. He's stronger than me.
He is. No, he is. Go look at Bear Grylls Island season 2. And they dropped a bunch of men and a bunch of women on a deserted island and gave them some basic tools. And they had to survive for 6 weeks. By the end of day 1, the women had gotten lost and were fractured. By the end of day 1, men got from one side of the island and started building out a shelter. By the end of 6 weeks, the men had damn near made the internet. By the end of 6 weeks, women almost would have died 4 times.
Let me ask you something, Kevin. You want what you're trying to preach to women about being submissive, playing their place to men, and doing all these things. When we do those things to our men, they give us their ass to kiss. Men feel like,
excuse me, what does that mean?
I feel like growing up, seeing my grandfather, seeing my daddy pay all the bills, do everything in their power to make sure home is kept well, they still went out and did bullshit over their wives. Now,
excuse me, hold on, let me stop you right here.
Oh my gosh, yo. Dealing with this dumbass baggage that has nothing to do with you. I get it, man. Not all relationships are going to be perfect and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's really not your business. It's really not your place to be figuring out what happened with your father and your grandfather. It's like that's your mother and your grandmother's business. It reminds me of that episode in Insecure to when that the character Molly found out that her dad was cheating on her mom while she was sleeping with another woman's husband. Yes, the woman's husband was in an open relationship, but we got to understand that a good amount of these modern women are hypocrites. They love making excuses to not be in stable relationships. They love making excuses so they could get out of a relationship. They love making excuses just because that's what they love doing. Because they don't want to be stable. They don't want to be functional. They want to do what they want to do because they feel like it's right. They think that it's right and whatnot because of what they've seen. We have to understand that none of those situations have nothing to do with you. So when you think negatively about guys, you want to talk about they give you their ass to kiss, so on and so on. How many guys? It's not all of the guys. It's only the guys that you have chosen. This is why you should have had those guys meet your fathers. Your father's still around. This is why they used to do this back in the day. You wanted to court. You wanted to do this. You want to talk about chivalry is dead. You want to talk about being submissive and whatnot. But you want to be submissive to the right guy. You know what I'm saying? You can't make excuses talking about this guy, men are trash and things like that. When you talk about you're equal, you want to talk about you're independent, you're strong, you're so smart, intelligent, things like that. But you can't make a solid decision on what man to date. You got to be able to decipher who you're dealing with, right? You can't jump into these situations and then you want to make a big excuse and blame the guy. That's why these girls always be messing with these low-level guys, and then you want to blame them on the back end. But then when you have a good guy or quote-unquote nice guy, you want to shit on him. You call him a square and things like that because you know you're going to have to step up your game.
First off, stay in your damn place as a child. That ain't your motherfucking business.
But I'm grown now.
But ain't your business. That ain't. Excuse me. Stop. Breathe.
Because you know what?
Breathe. No. I will shut this shit down. I will shut this shit down. I will shut this shit down and finish. It's not your place. You as a child trying to judge adult situations. Did your mama leave? Did your grandmama leave?
Yes. My mother left. My grandmother didn't leave.
Well, your mama left, and look, and this is what we're dealing with. A woman who feels like what?
She can't trust.
Oh my gosh. This is why I say, yo, this video is very relative, man. We're gonna use this for educational purposes, bro. Cause how many women are we bumping into like this? They're riding the dating apps, they're riding the bars, the nightclubs, the night scene, and they have trust issues. So why are you out? Don't you think like you have to work on that? And then they get into situations to where a guy's trying to work with them, tell them that, you know what I'm saying? Not like that. Yeah, a lot of guys are gonna hit you with the same lines. That's because you're hitting them with the same bullshit. So you're gonna get the same lines in return, right? Talk about trust issues and whatnot. You gotta get over that bullshit. You're talking about you're grown. So how about you act like a grown woman and understand that not all guys are gonna be the same? You got to change yourself also, right? If you're the common denominator in all these situations, because not all guys are the problem. Maybe some guys were. Maybe 2 out of 5 were, even though it shouldn't have been 5. It shouldn't even get to that number because a lot of these girls want to keep bouncing around from this guy to that guy, sampling sizes, things like that, ruining their walls. Then you have trust issues because you gave up the ass too fast, right? You have trust issues because your dad and your granddad, but what were your mom and your grandmother doing? You don't look at both sides of the equation. You only look at the negative side. And now you bring in this baggage into a situation to a guy that has no knowledge of your past, no knowledge of you. And then you feel like this guy is scared. This guy is a chicken, or he's weakened, or he's chickening out because you got a little bit of baggage and things like that. No, no, relationships are not supposed to be so complex. Let's keep it funky, man. Life is not supposed to be so complex, but women love making shit complex because they love confusion. They love chaos. They love making things harder than it needs to be. A lot of you women need to just start with a clean slate and just bring that clean slate over to the next guy. Stop bringing the old baggage from the past relationship without giving yourself enough time to heal. You feel what I'm saying? We can't be in this situation to where we have a breakup and then now you're bouncing in the nightclub scene because you're trying to get over this guy. Why don't you give yourself some time to heal, self reflect, read a book or some shit? Do something other than trying to meet another guy when you know that you haven't even recovered from the past relationship. Now this guy got to deal with this bullshit, and now the kids or whoever that's watching these shows, they see the same reoccurring theme with these girls because just look at her face. Just look at her face right now. Look at her face, fellas. She doesn't even listen to whatever's coming out of his mouth, man. You feel me? She's listening to respond because she wants him to understand her viewpoint so badly that she's not even gonna hear him out. We gotta understand that none of this shit has nothing to do with you, girl. So you gotta get over yourself and get over the bullshit that you're holding on to because you're not gonna move forward, man.
Get some damn therapy because
Um,
that ain't men's problems. See, the problem is in our community. The problem in our community is women today are nowhere close to being the caliber of women that women used to be. You're weak. You
That's a big time fact, and we're not gonna say, oh, we're gonna say a good amount, man. A lot of them are weak minded because think about how the Democrats use the emotions of all the so-called black women to their advantage. You feel what I'm saying? Black women helped us win this election and things like that because they used their emotions. They used all the staged and ritualistic killings and things of that nature, not to digress. But think about it. A lot of y'all are weak minded, a good amount, because y'all can't even agree to disagree with someone that doesn't have the same beliefs as you. Am I wrong?
weak. You're soft. You sit around complaining about stuff because you have it too easy. You have it far too easy. My grandmother's generation, they survived the Dust Bowl, the Great Depression, and real racism. They had to worry about real bona fide lynching. We got in our country, black women are so comfortable. You almost 200 pounds of 5'4". Not only talk about missing no meals, the black community ain't missing no meals. Most people don't understand what even poverty really is. Then you go back and say, "Well, my mama, men gave us their ass to kiss." You tell the worst parts of all the stories.
I think that's my drink. Yeah, because
You tell the worst part of everything. But where do you ever? I never hear you women give black men credit for anything. It's always talk about the waiting to exhale and the color purple bullshit.
That's the bullshit right there, Miss Sam. Let me tell you something. I go to therapy, and me and my parents and my grandparents, the shit they go through might not have been my business, but I inhaled it. I saw that. I saw the.
That's your problem. Okay. And how old are you?
It can be my fault.
How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 30.
Okay. Well, due respect, ma'am. That the world doesn't owe you or me understanding, because hold on, because there are people in this world. I will shut this shit down. I won't. No. We don't do that.
Please, man. She just wants to just go back and forth, my man. She absolutely needs a man. What is therapy helping you with if you can't even have a simple conversation? Everything has to be a shouting match. You can't let him talk. You're trying to talk. So now you're trying to talk over him. You can see that she does this in her real life. And then the girl in the background is not going to make the situation any better. She's passing her a drink. She's talking to her girl while she's on a live with this guy. So not only do you not have the respect for this dude, you're not gonna have the respect for a guy that doesn't even have this quote unquote platform and whatnot. So it's like, come on, man. 30 years old. How many women are like this? Combative, want to talk over you, not trying to hear you out, even though you know that you looked into the situation, you looked for the details, and you're trying to explain that to them, and they still don't want to hear it because they are stuck in their opinion. They are stuck in their ways. They're not changing their mindset, even though you're talking about you're going to therapy. Does that even work, man?
See, you talking about the traumas that your grandmother and mother, that ain't your business. Stay in a child's place.
I'm not a child anymore, Mr. Sam.
But that's the point.
We can't tell. Yo, a lot of women ain't gonna mature until they looks rare off, man. She's not a bad looking girl, but let's find out 10 years down the line if you're not a child, man. Come on, man. A lot of girls, stop acting like you're not a child when you act like a child. All the complaining, all the emotional baggage, and all that nonsense that you bring into these relationships, you act like a child. Get over your past, get over yourself, and move on. Grow up. Don't wait till you're 45. Don't wait till you're 50, 55, 60, and now you're cycling dating apps, trying to meet guys at the bar for coffee dates.
You're trying to okay. Do you have any children?
I do.
Uh-huh. So your children need
Run that back, man. Nigga said, uh-huh. This is the problem, yo. All you women, yo, majority, not all, but a good amount of y'all want to complain the world for your bad decisions and whatnot. Then you bring children into this world, and then what are you teaching your children in return? You send your children to the public school system, then you get mad that they're not learning anything. Then we want to talk about how things were in the past to where the women were at home teaching the kids. We're not trying to make this no level thing. We want to try to talk about how things were made simpler. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being all complex to where woman, now you got to go ahead and bust out 2 to 3 jobs. You don't really spend that much time with your child because you have the daycare raising them, you have the school raising them, you have whatever after school program raising them. You don't really have too much time. You're barely cooking for your kids. You're getting them fast food, those TV dinners and things like that. So how much quality time are you really spending with your kids? You're not there for the practices. You're not there for the games because you're working, because you're a single mother and whatnot. Nobody's bashing single mothers and shit like that, but we got to understand that the dynamics have to change. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about you're not a child, but you're making childlike mistakes because you want to have something to blame. You want to complain about your past. My past is the reason why I made this mistake. Oh, because I saw this with my grandmother. That's why I am the way how I am. That's bullshit, yo. Come on. Look at her face. She's like, yeah, let's let it run, man.
do you have any children?
I do.
Uh-huh. So your children need to come get in your relationship with you and your man? Or should they stay in their mother flipping place? That's what I thought.
I don't want my kids to see me.
That's not what I asked.
The same thing
That's not what I asked.
But is what I'm asking
That's
you.
not what I asked.
Can I talk? Can I say something?
But you didn't answer the question. Your children need to stay. Your children need to stay in a children's place.
Somebody said I look 48. Okay.
Stop. What? Your children need to stay in a children's.
I can't lie, man. You, my first guess was that you're not 30 years old. Yo, sisters, man. We gotta understand that y'all carry so much baggage that y'all do not look like that y'all do not look y'all age. Y'all carry so much baggage that y'all do not look y'all age. Y'all gotta start doing things that reduce the stress. Drinking wine is not gonna help you with the way that you look. You gotta get more active. Y'all gotta hit the gym. I shouldn't be hitting the gym, and then the percentage of Caucasians is 98.5. And then I don't see any sisters because the rest of the dynamic is made up with like Latinas and Indians and whatever dynamics, like sisters. Y'all worried about y'all hair. Y'all worried about all the wrong things, but y'all not worried about your body. You're not worried about the inside and out. You're not worried about how you actually look, man. That's not even sad. Yo, somebody could have been busting jokes, but let's be honest. This girl does not really look 30. She doesn't look bad, but she doesn't really look 30. I would have guessed about 35. And that's not saying that to bash you, but I'm just saying like a good amount. Too many, more than most women look older than they actually are, man. We got to understand that that's a problem.
It's because between you and that man is something that they don't know, they don't understand because they're too young. They shouldn't be trying to judge it through childlike eyes. How old is your oldest?
15.
How old is your youngest?
10.
10 years ago, your oldest still believed in Santa Claus. Children need to stay in children's place. And one of the problems we have in the black community is black women put their children in grown places where they should not be. They let their children see and experience stuff they should not experience, and because being kids do what they naturally do. Mm-hmm. That's a problem of parenting. Your mama shouldn't have exposed you to it.
So okay, you're right. I can admit that. You are right.
Yo, look at this girl's face, my dude. She says you're right in a little condescending way. But look at her face. Does she really think that he's right? Yo, man, I'm not gonna lie, yo. Why do y'all girls do it to yourselves to call this guy show and then you don't make yourself look any better? You don't have any solution? What is the end game to you girls calling this guy show? What is the end game? At the end of the day, what is it? Notoriety? Some clout? What is it? You're bored? I don't get it, yo. Cause look at this world's yo, look at this woman's face, man. She said, "You're right," and then makes this face as and yo, brothers, how many times you had a conversation with a sister like this and they made this face at you and they like, and your point?
Every other group, black people don't commit adultery and cheat at any exorbitantly higher rates than other people. We just use it as reasons. Mm. Bill Gates and Melinda Gates just came out saying, Bill Gates, the most richest man in America, right? Mm. What did his wife come out saying? Oh, by the way, Bill been kicking it with his ex-girlfriend all our marriage. Now, see, if there was black folks, Tyler Perry would have made a movie about it.
Mm. That's a fact, but at the end of the day, who gives a shit what Bill Gates and Melinda Gates was doing behind closed doors, man? That's the problem with the so-called black community is that y'all are overly consumed with celebrity gossip, celebrity bullshit that has nothing to do with your regular Joe or Jane life, man. Y'all not worried about your brothers or the mutual friends or your employees or the co-workers and things like that, the things that are more relative to you. You want to compare yourself to a guy that's on a platform, that's on TV and whatnot because they look like you. And now you're reaching when you want to try to make a reality out of a fantasy and things like that, man. Stop comparing yourself to celebrities, man. Stop worrying about people who do not worry about you.
Because we understand that this whole notion of man and woman, there's always an understanding between a man and a woman. And the man and the woman need to understand this, and the kids need to stay at the kids' place, eat at the kids' table, and not be involved in grown shit.
Okay.
So if we allow your children to witness arguments and stress and strife, that's the mama fault.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that you didn't suffer trauma, but I'm saying that that's not your place to be around. Because I don't know men who just say I'm gonna wait till the kids come home and then I'm gonna whoop your ass in front of the kids. That ain't how men move. I don't know men who say I'm gonna wait till the kids home and I'm gonna come and scream and holler at you. That's not how men do.
Mm-hmm.
And at 30 years old, man, whatever happened to your mother and your grandmother, as traumatic as it is, due respect, man, you got to process that, moving on, and it cannot be an excuse because your children could say the same thing.
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're right. And I didn't want to get on here and argue with you, and I didn't want to, disrespect your platform. But I do have a question.
Sure.
My thing is, and this is just coming from my experience with dating, you are telling women to stay in their place, to be submissive, to be soft, to stand behind their husbands, but they don't reciprocate the same thing. We can do all that, and we still get shitted on.
Same old talking point. It goes back to this. Make better decisions. Make better choices. Have better discernment. Have better judgment. You can't keep making the same excuses for your bad mistakes, man. This is why you need a guy, maybe in your life, a father figure, male figure that you have some respect for to help you with this quote unquote dating process. All dating is who you're sleeping with. And then this is what happens with modern women. You're leading with your box, you're leading with the vagina. And then once that guy has a taste of that vagina, he basically lost that spark for you because a good amount of guys are chasing ass. You know what I'm saying? They're leading with the little head first, and that's the problem with this society. We're running around, we're trying to chase some ass, we're trying to smash as many girls as we want, but we're not trying to build with the girls that we're smashing. So now these guys that basically leave their imprint on girls like this, they fuck it up for the rest of the guys that are actually trying to build. These girls are not the way they are because they came out the womb like that. They are like this because they either have a bad experience with a guy or guys, matter of fact, and then you have their childhood bullshit that they're holding on for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I know we all got a lot of things that molded us the way that we are today, but we have to get over that bullshit. If we want to wake up every day thinking negatively, how do you think that the day is going to go? We want to hear all this shit. Oh, the time that I was soft and I was submissive, I was doing all this in the third. I still got shitted on. Is that the truth, man? Is that the whole story? Because you already know there's three sides to every story. You feel me? But listen, man, it all comes down to making better judgment. Stop leading with the vagina and you will make better choices. You will find yourself in a better relationship. Fellas, stop chasing the vagina first. The vagina, yes, listen, check it out. Sex is amazing, man. We all want it, but that should be the cherry on top. Don't be tight. Don't be all angry when a girl doesn't want to give you the box right away, even if you don't even know her past. We're going to break it down into simple situations, right? Because a lot of you guys are on that red pill rage and things like that to where you feel like a girl should just be submissive to you and she just be giving up the box because you might know of her past and whatnot. When a lot of girls hold out on the vagina, it might be because she likes you a little bit more. Yes, you don't want to pay for you don't want to pay a higher price for something that you deem to be at a lower value and things like that. But the question is, where is your girl? You guys want to have all these options. You want to have all these opinions to yourself and things like that. But where is your girl? What is your end game? You feel me? Is your end game to just be running around here to smash all these girls? But you're still going to be feeling empty on the inside because you're going to be searching for solace. It'll run out. Your run will run out eventually. You're not going to be continuing. You're not going to stay on this run to try to smash repeatedly because the shit will get old. And then you run into girls like this that get damaged because of guys like you, because you're running around smashing, creating the thoughts that you complain about. All you guys in this quote unquote space and whatnot, you complain about the girls that you create. You want to talk about these girls are nothing for smash, but what does that make you essentially? That makes you nothing but quote unquote a dick on a stick and whatnot, bro. You're only good for your cash and sperm if that's what you want to present. If that's all you want to talk about is all these girls are good for nothing, they're good for just getting smashed, then that makes you the same essentially, bro. You got to understand that guys create these monsters. They weren't created like this. These girls, they pick up the slang, they pick up their ways, they get these tats, they change all the materialistic things, then all the personal characteristics, a good amount, they developed that from the guys that they were sleeping with. That's why their spirit is broken, because they're corrupted with all these spirits from all these guys, from all these penises that are inserted inside of them. And then now they want to complain about their past. Now they want to complain about getting shitted on because they led with their vagina. You're the standard of booty. You feel what I'm saying? Stop leading with your booty. You want to talk about your brains and things like that. How about you lead with your brains? How about you try to have a conversation and then you could figure out that these guys didn't want nothing but the ass to begin with. But because you're leading with your eye, because you're leading with your imagination and whatnot, that 50 Shades of Grey mentality and things like that, you're imagining what this guy could do to you. You're imagining what this girl could do to you and whatnot. So now we're living in lust and we're living for the wrong reasons. And then we want to bitch about it on YouTube.
That's bullshit.
Please tell me how is that bullshit, Mr.
It's bullshit because okay. I'll answer, hold on, no. What you focus on, you see. You focus on bullshit, so you see bullshit. You mean to tell me, okay, in the black community, let's take adultery, let's take cheating. Where are you going?
I'm going to go. I was trying to make me another drink because you.
I think you need to have. No. You sit here and have the conversation. You don't walk away with 18,000 people watching.
I'm sitting. Calm down, myself.
Don't do that to me, because you don't do that, man. That's disrespectful.
Okay, I'm sitting.
If I was a white man, you wouldn't have pulled that shit. I'll tell you that much. You wouldn't have turned your back and walked away on me.
If you was white?
Yes.
If I wanted to get up and make me a drink, I would just get up, but...
That's a damn lie, man. And yeah, fellas, a lot, you always want to try to make this comparison, like if I was a white dude, you wouldn't be doing this and whatnot, but the fact of the matter is, it's about respect. She got up, walked around, doing all this other things, you wouldn't be doing that. The fact of the matter is, if you was on a phone call, a face call with a Caucasian man, you wouldn't have done what you just did. That's the lack of respect for so-called black men that a good amount of these sisters have. They develop those feelings. They develop that lack of respect from what they experienced and from free will. Come on, man. She just showed the respect that she has for brothers, man. You just got up, you doing all these things. You about to try to make a drink in the middle of a call with thousands of people watching. You was about to go ahead and make a drink. You can't make it up, man. You sisters do it to yourself when you call this guy's channel and make yourself look like a fool. No doubt.
Nothing to do with color, Mr. Samuels.
Yeah, well, how about this? It has something to do with respect for the platform, the audience, and everything else. That's just improper. But see, we're too informal with one another. And the fact that I'm a black man, you take certain liberties that you would not take with other people from other races, because you got to be on your better behavior. That's my point. That's my point. And I'm going to move on. The black community, black men, when surveyed, asked about in committed relationships, what percentage of black men cheated at 28% rate. What rate do black women cheat at?
I don't know what's the number.
24. And there are 2 million more of us. Every time a black man is cheating with somebody, he's cheating with somebody, and it's usually with a woman, married or in a relationship. How many black women have multiple children by multiple men? That's polygamy. That's a poly relationship. See, the way you tell the situation is like a woman does the best thing and a man gives her ass kiss. A 50+% divorce rate in the country, and it's almost close to 60% of the black community. And 80 to 90% of the relationships, black women are leaving. You're leaving. You're home wrecking. You're breaking up the relationships. Men stay. Y'all leave.
Why do you think women are leaving?
Because you've been sold a Disney fantasy that you should be happy, instead of understanding that you have duty, honor, respect, and you chose to be in a relationship, especially when you decided to make a baby with somebody. You need to stay for more than just yourself. French toast your happiness.
So I should settle.
No, you should. Are you a Christian?
You see, the sad thing is, a good amount of these modern single women and just old single women and single women in general, not all, but most, a good amount, however you want to put it, choose their happiness over their children's, and that's a big no-no. You can't be talking about you want to be miserable. You can't be talking about you're settling, but you're not talking about your kid's happiness. You're not talking about a guy that's trying to come into the picture because you had a goofy baby daddy and whatnot. And he's trying to make it work with you, but you want to shit on him for the guy that's more exciting and things like that, and he bounces after he gets the ass, but you shitted on the guy that was trying to build with you and pick up the pieces and put them together. We want to talk about trying to combine and come together to form a union and whatnot, but a lot of these people are growing up or come from dysfunctional households. You want to bring children into this world. You would think that you would want your children to grow up in a better way and not grow up in the way that you did. But a lot of these people bring these children into a world of chaos, and then they surprise when their kid becomes a degenerate or a thought or things of that nature. We can't be confused. We can't be sitting here shit faced with a dumb face and things of that nature when we do it to ourselves, man. We can't be so selfish, so self-centered to where we're not trying to make it work, to where we're not trying to make sacrifices. We want to talk about love. Making sacrifices is a part of love if you're really trying to make it work. But these girls don't know love. A lot of these dudes don't know love either. We'll make videos about that, but right now we're talking about this. If you get that motion picture bullshit out of your head and thinking that you're gonna have a fairy tale ending to every situation that you land in, you're gonna be you're gonna be sadly mistaken and whatnot, man. We gotta really wake up, smell the coffee, and try to make these moves and try to do better and whatnot, man. We can't be talking about I'm settling. We can't be talking about this, that, and the third. We gotta understand the problems that have been faced, the problems that are still going on, and how can we fix them. We still hear the same reoccurring theme. Oh, I don't want to settle. Oh, I'm settling for less. How the hell can you be settling for less when you're bringing two kids into a situation? You're right now up with Big Shirley on a late night call with a man in his 50s talking about a high value man, or you're looking for a man to be married and whatnot when you should be able to do that on your own. But a lot of you women want to be entertained and whatnot. That's the problem now. You're in a relationship, then you want to call it boring because you're on your gram. You're on these stories, doing this, that, and the third. You want to go out on Saturday nights. You want to make all these stories when you really should be reading a story to your kids. It is what it is.
I'm not.
Well, have you been married?
No, I haven't.
You plan on getting married?
I would like to.
What vows do you plan on taking?
I don't want to settle for nothing less.
What vows do you plan on taking?
I plan on
For better, for worse, sickness and health, the rich and poor, till death do us part. Then he said shit about happiness.
So I'm supposed to be miserable.
No, you're supposed to be an adult.
Okay.
Bro, hang up on that nigga, man. He trash.
Yo, who the hell was that nigga bitch in the background? Hang up on that nigga, yo. He trash. This is what I'm talking about, yo. How many times you had a conversation? You know what I'm saying? You talking your shit. The girl is sitting there. You dishing and taking. She talking her shit also. And then here comes a girl coming from the woodworks. He trash. Hang up on that nigga. Yada yada. Being the Buzz Killington. How many times have you found yourself into a situation like this? Let's run it back. Oh my God.
So I'm supposed to be miserable.
No, you're supposed to be an adult.
Okay.
Bro, hang up on that nigga, man. He trash.
Yo, who the hell was that sounding mad masculine? And then the fact of the matter is this. Whoever that was in the background said, bro, hang up on that nigga. That's the problem with a lot of y'all sisters. Y'all are too masculine, bruh. That sounds like a nigga bitch in the background, a lady man, whatever you want to call it. Bruh, that doesn't make any sense for a woman to be sounding like a man in the background. Like, so she's kicking it with a nigga bitch. So she's having this conversation, and to be honest with you, we don't even know if she likes men anymore. She's having this conversation for entertainment purposes, but we don't even know if she likes men. Come on, bro.
listening. I just want
Who
to.
is this? Is that Big Shirley?
He said,
Yo, one for yo. Let's run this shit back real quick, man. This shit is funny.
okay.
Bro, hang up on that nigga, man. He trash.
I'm listening. I just want
Who
to.
is this? Is that Big Shirley?
He said, is that Big Shirley? You know he talks shit. That's him.
I mean, I'm trash. See, this is what I'm saying. This woman, this so-called woman, supposed woman, can say I'm trash. What have I said that's wrong, Big Shirley? Bring the facts, the data, the statistics. Don't bring your trash ass attitude and take your bonnet off if you're gonna get on here.
Bitch, I don't want about hang up on that fucker.
Yeah, that's what, and see, and that's what I mean. That's all you gotta do. That's comes out to bitches and everything else. That's why your fat ass gonna die by yourself.
Ain't by myself.
Kick rocks. You can't make this shit up.
You really can't, man. And yo, women, yo, stop bringing your miserable friend with you to these functions, man. I'm gonna give you a story on the flip side to show you that guys have this situation also. Yo, listen, man, years back, right? One of my guys, associates and whatnot, he always used to be asking, yo, man, where the hoes at? Where the bitches at? Already asking the wrong questions. You feel what I'm saying? Where the ladies at? Where it's at tonight? What's going on for the weekend? Things like that, right? We always go out, not saying always, but when we would go out and whatnot, this dude would be sitting in the corner drinking a Heineken with the resting bitch face, the male version. You're looking over there in the corner, unhappy. You're not talking to any females. You were the one asking where the females were at, but you're sitting in the corner looking miserable. You don't want anybody to step on your shoes. Why would you wear shoes that you're scared that are going to get dirty to the club or to the bar or things like that? Then you add to the fact that you're not talking to any females. You're sitting over there drinking Heinekens, looking miserable and mad because you want to have this tough facade up because you basically looking like you want to fight. And listen, man, this dude ended up getting into a fight one time because somebody stepped on his sneakers. Me and my boy, we're over here mingling. We're trying to meet women and whatnot, but this dude is in the corner into a situation to where he got into a scuffle because somebody stepped on his damn sneakers, my man. You not even just say not even let the guy just say my bad. Now you're giving him a screw face because he stepped on your sneakers. You're not in there looking for women. You're not in there having a good time. So listen, ladies, stop bringing that type of energy with you. If you're in there, you're trying to have a good time. You're trying to be happy. You're actually trying to meet a guy. Why would you bring a big Shirley with you that's basically going to ruin the situation? Why would you do that? Let's run it back real quick, man.
I just want
Who
to.
is this? Is that Big Shirley?
He said, is that Big Shirley?
Boy, till death do its part. Then he said shit about happiness.
So I'm supposed to be miserable.
No, you're supposed to be an adult.
Okay.
Bro, hang up on that nigga, man. He trash.
I'm listening. I just want to.
Who is this? Is that Big Shirley?
He said, is that Big Shirley? You know he talks shit. That's him.
I mean, I'm trash. See, this is what I'm saying. This woman, this so-called woman, supposed woman, can say I'm trash. What have I said that's wrong, Big Shirley? Bring the facts, the data, the statistics. Don't bring your trash ass attitude and take your bonnet off if you're gonna get on here.
Bitch, I don't want about hang up on that fucker.
Yeah, that's what, and see, and that's what I mean. That's all you gotta do. That's comes out to bitches and everything else. That's why your fat ass gonna die by yourself.
Ain't by myself.
Kick rocks. You can't make this shit up.
But yo, just peep the lack of respect though. With Big Shirley in the background, the nigga bitch, she basically called this dude a bitch. So that's the lack of respect right then and there. You know what I'm saying? He said Big Shirley, which is a joke and whatnot. We gonna laugh at that. That shit is comedy. It is what it is. But is it acceptable? Is it necessary for her or him, whatever that person is in the background, to call this guy a bitch just off that, just off the strength, off a GP, just like that, to call him a bitch, not even knowing this guy? This is the energy that they have towards a regular Joe. If they're gonna act like this to a guy like this that has a platform with some odd thousand subscribers and things like that, how do you feel like they're gonna act with a regular blue collar guy? You feel me? The lack of respect, things like that. Calling this dude a bitch. Hang up on that nigga. He trash. Let's go. My girl is straight. We ain't talking to no guys tonight. Fellas, how many times have you found yourself into a situation like that to where a girl wants to be the party pooper, but you're out in the first place? Why you ain't stay your miserable ass at the house? Your girl is over here trying to have fun. She's having conversations. She look like she's trying to meet people, but you're over there miserable because nobody wants to talk to your miserable ass. You sound like a nigga. Come on, man. Too many nigga bitches is out here, and this is what I wanted to end this with. Fellas, I'm not gonna lie. This is a heterosexual channel and things of that nature, right? But I'm not gonna lie. We have some cool dykes that are basically in their situation. You ain't gonna snap them out of it, fellas. You might have to bring a dyke with you to when you go out, because a lot of these women, they have a high disregard for fellas and things like that. They feel like they could fight you. They feel like they could talk all this shit to you because they know you won't punch them in their jaw. They know you restraining yourself from knocking them out into the sixth floor and things like that. How about you bring a woman with you and let's see the energy that these girls will have, because that energy will disappear. Like everybody has a use, you feel me? Everybody has a purpose. There's gonna be dykes on the world and things like that, all these nigga bitches and things like that. You might have to bring one with you when you go out, especially when you guys, y'all love that nightclub scene to where you're gonna bump into women just like this, big Shirleys and things of that nature. Bring a dyke with you, bring a nigga bitch with you, and let's see the energy that they have. They're not gonna have that energy towards another woman. They only have that energy towards another male because the male is gonna restrain themselves. Well, a good amount, because there's some crazy dudes out here that will knock your ass out. It is what it is. But ladies, man, we gotta, you know what I mean? We gotta do better. If we knew better, we would do better, right? Y'all wouldn't be calling this guy's live show. Y'all wouldn't be calling the guy on his channel and things like that if you knew better. But a good amount of y'all are only calling it for entertainment purposes. Y'all not really calling it for no knowledge. Y'all not really calling it to do better. So what's the end game? A lot of y'all are just gonna be hanging out, drinking martinis and margaritas with big Shirleys and going to day parties, talking about I don't want to settle for less. But you're settling for getting drunk with Big Shirley, and then basically you will die alone. You can't make this shit up, man. Too many brothers out here are dealing with a lack of respect and they're trying to make it work with these sisters. So what is the end game? What is the solution for us to turn on the YouTube and laugh at these shows? Are we going to sit here and laugh for the next 10 years and things like that? We already know that these problems have been a reoccurring theme, but what is the end game? What is the solution? A lot of guys, you're just going to have to disregard these females. They might be looking good to your eye, but check it out. Everything that look good to your eye ain't good for you, man. Period. A lot of these girls holding on to baggage, bringing it with them. And when you got you over here with your clean slate, you getting over your past relationship, you getting over the bullshit that you dealing with on a day-to-day basis, you can't be walking into a toxic relationship. You can't be walking into a situation to with a girl and she hasn't gotten over her past. She hasn't gotten over her childhood trauma. She hasn't gotten over the bullshit that she's living with it on a day-to-day basis. She's mad at the job she's working. She's mad at all these things that's going on around her, and then she brings that shit into the midst with you, man. We're not looking for this bullshit, man. We're looking for answers on this channel. We're not looking to perpetuate the cycle that's been going on for 30 plus years, man. We're not looking for that. We're looking for results, man. We're not looking to just laugh at these girls that make a fool of themselves on a night to night basis, man. What is the end game? Like I said, let me know what y'all think. That's enough of that, man. But fellas, man, look out for the big Shirleys and look out for the girls that hang out with these big Shirleys, man, because they're no good. Let's keep it funky. They're talking about settling for less, but they have kids. You're not settling for a damn thing, obviously, because you're sitting here getting drunk with Big Shirley on a live stream with this guy in his 50s talking about relationships, talking about submissive, talking about all this shit that's not gonna be getting incorporated into your life. So what is the point of this phone call at the end of the day, man? Yeah, that's enough of that, man. Let me know what y'all think, man. I'm out.